You're listening to Cards to the Moon, a podcast about trading cards from both a collector and investor perspective. We hope you'll stick around for the ride as we take a deep dive into the state of the hobby, share some hot takes, hopefully some useful advice, and fun stories along the way. Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Cards to the Moon. My name is Clark from 5cardguys.com. You can also find me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and on TikTok at 5cardguys, all spelled out, all one word. Hosting with me today for this episode is Darryl Chan, aka DC, who was also just at the National in Chicago, along with me and tens of thousands of other collectors as well this year. I was only there for 3 days, and I feel like I'm still recovering, from the, just the constant activity. But DC, you were there for the full 5. So first question, how are you feeling right now?
I feel okay now because a couple of days has passed. Yesterday arrived at probably like 1 a.m. because there was a small delay in Chicago, and we were in the last flight. And then, got a couple hours sleep, and then I went to golf. So it's okay. And then I fell asleep right after the the golf. I was like exhausted, and then, back to normal day today.
Yep. So you're good to go.
Yeah, I just got to sort all these cards that I got back, and I'm heading to front row next week. So, I'm not going to take a super, super long time to organize. Just got to pick and choose what goes and what stays.
Okay, and I know you're going to show some of it later on in this episode for our show and tell segment. But yeah, so let's move on. I did a recap of the National last week for the episode previous to this one. But off the top, DC, what did you think of the National this year? Especially with where we are now in the hobby, everything seems to be spiking, going up to the moon. and how would you compare it to even last year's National?
So I'd say it was pretty insane, nonstop. Every day we're thinking, oh, maybe tomorrow is going to be a little bit slower. We honestly thought Sunday was going to be, I wouldn't say dead, but a lot slower. But in fact, it was still very busy up until the very end where, we were packing up all of our stuff and deals were still happening for whatever that was in the showcases. Like basically Eli had his flight was earlier, so we were helping him pack, and Martin and I just kind of consolidated all of our stuff into less showcases. But those 4 showcases that were left, we had so Eli's booth had 19 showcases. Okay, so there was a lot of product, and then all of a sudden, we were filling in, empty spots and stuff like that. But throughout the whole event, but even the last day when you thought it was going to be slower, it really wasn't as slow as I thought it was going to be.
Wow.
So packed. That place was packed, and we were on the ground floor, so I would say the spacing between the booths are a lot better than upstairs.
Yes.
The only time I actually went upstairs was to go, do BGS submission and pick up. And then I guess if we had to go through to the trade night, you had to go through that hall. So those are the only times I was upstairs. But honestly, there were people. It was packed.
Yes. That. I mean, if you've been following any of the social media coverage, just tons of people everywhere. And I'm actually a little surprised to hear that Sunday was a little surprised, because Sundays are typically slower, and generally speaking in card shows, big card shows. But a little surprised, but at the same time, not really, because of just how hot the hobby is right now. And the first few days, the days I was there, unbelievable, just the amount of people. But yeah, definitely felt it. Do you remember last year? And how would you compare it to even this year's National?
I do remember last year. I remember most of the years I'm there, because usually what I do is I just help Eli set up. Just a setup part, and then I do walking. Whereas this time around, we did it a little differently, where I was literally in the booth almost
Okay.
all the time. Only time I left was, like I said, a couple times go to the bathroom, BGS, PSA sub,
Yeah.
um, go get some food now and then, or go pick up the Uber Eats or whatever. That's the only time I really left the booth. So this was
Right.
like more of a quote unquote conventional card show setup this time, where I wasn't really
Okay.
walking around. The only time I really walked around is when I left my booth, when we not my booth, when we left Eli's booth, go to the bathroom, and then I'm passing by dealers on the way back or there. And that was the only
Yeah.
stuff I was really looking at. I didn't even go to the main room. The only time I went to the main room was to go to Tops to pick up my EQL packs.
Right.
That's it. And that's crazy because it's a very, very different experience for me this year than previous years.
Okay. I mean, I guess it'll be hard for you to answer some of the questions I have later on in the episode because you haven't, like you were just saying, haven't had the chance to walk around as much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's interesting to hear you share just your setup this year, and I only went to the national twice now. This is my second year. Last year was my first year, and yeah, I could definitively say it was definitely felt more crowded, more people. And going the first year, you always think like, wow, this is amazing,
Mm-hmm.
and there's nothing to compare to, especially with the size and the scope of the national. But yeah, this year was yeah, I don't even know if the trend continues throughout this year and next. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, and that's why for hobby headlines, we'll get to it in just a minute. I want to brainstorm some ideas on how big card shows, can be improved upon because I feel like there's going to be a limit that you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over when more people are coming into the hobby because the experience is just going to be bad for everyone at some point when there's just too many people. But anyway, that's kind of a teaser to what I want to talk about later. Off the top, just to close this segment, I also want to get your thoughts on the pricing on some of the cards. I was able to meet up with our friend Dave at Wolf Hearts Cards. It was good to see him after a couple weeks because we saw each other at the West Coast Card Show as well. And he was saying like your booth was probably the only one in that one area where you were who had Otani prices listed reasonably, while others were just ridiculous. Dave is not the only one saying it. Every other influencer, big influencers and breakers, they sometimes go around looking to buy inventory, looking to buy cards for themselves as well. And the common theme was that it was really tough to buy at the National this year because the more coveted cards were just priced astronomically. Did you get that impression as well?
I mean, I definitely did see whenever I was perusing, I
Yeah,
did see in certain sections that some of the prices were a little bit out to lunch.
right.
Um, 2-3x I don't recall seeing. Like I didn't see any Tops Chrome pitching 150s for like $2,500. I didn't see anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, part of the reason why our inventory was moving is because I think we were priced quite reasonably. Like we're right around comps and people can negotiate to a degree.
Yeah,
But just having this is the same in any place you go. Like if you have the right price and the right product, it's always going to move. So
yeah,
on addition to that, I would say that because people see that these things are priced correctly, they're more willing to trade with you. So
yes.
like between Eli Martin and I and Steph to a degree too, because she does mostly Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we were able to get a lot of deals done. I think one thing I
Mm,
did notice, though, there was definitely less Pokemon. It's predominantly sports,
I
whereas
agree.
a lot of the trend in the past, most recent past, has been there's more TCG than there are sports, and that goes
Yes,
from show to show. But specifically at the national, there's definitely less TCG. Um,
true.
but
I
price
would
wise,
agree.
like I definitely saw some things that were crazy, but then those people can keep their cards until the next show and then the next show and the next show. I think people
Yeah.
are actually trying to capitalize on some stuff. Um, like we talked about before, like the national comps thing. I don't think it applies
Mm,
to every single card, but let me tell you, there's a lot of cards that people had or are expecting to sell at the national that couldn't be sold. Like nobody was buying Brady Chromes. Not that I know of, not at those
mm,
astronomical prices. Um,
right.
I think LeBron's to a degree still sold, but as we were talking about this off air, I'm
Mm-hmm.
already seeing the trend of the stuff coming down. It's like a 10% difference since the national.
Yeah, no, you mentioned that, and I was a little surprised it moved that quickly in terms of the trend the other way.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, like I said, if you get too greedy and you wait super, super long, especially if you know, well, maybe you, like you as a seller doesn't know, you're just thinking,
Hmm.
oh, okay, it's just going to keep going up. But then a more seasoned collector is going to know that this is a trend all the time like this.
Right.
Yes, if you, like I said, if you look in the historical charting of like a lot of these cards, you'll see that they go up a couple months before the national and then start coming down. How else can you explain a 25% increase in 1 week and then a 10% decrease after? So
Yeah.
even though people might want to, it's a nice looking card. I love the card. It's just that at the price that people wanted to sell some of these things, it just, I wouldn't want to get stuck holding the bag, especially if I see
Mm.
the trend coming down right after. And if I can't flip it at the national in that 5 day window, I just
Yeah.
rather not take that risk.
Yeah, no, that's smart. And I'm pretty sure the dealers that price their Bowman Chrome Brady's at the prices I've seen, and even the LeBron Topps Chrome, I'm pretty sure they all took it back home with them because, yeah, every day it's the same kind of cards laid out in their showcases, right? It just doesn't move.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you have a reasonably priced card, someone's gonna come get it. I mean, even if we talk about Kobe autos or Jordan autos, you can use Jordan autos as a pretty, like a pretty standard thing, even though they're
Hmm.
all different types of Jordan autos. But like 40K for an on card auto sort of makes sense. I
Okay.
mean, given the timing of it, and like, if you're talking about exquisite, like that kind of stuff is also like super, super crazy. But
Yeah.
if you see what people were buying, people were still buying them as long as they're right. You can
Yeah.
have like a 40,000 Jordan and it's like that's fine. But then if you have like $100,000 Jordan, the same one that
Hmm.
someone's selling, well, come on, what do you expect?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I only bring it up because it was kind of eye opening. And it's kind of, I mentioned in the last pod that I did, I kind of got a glimpse of it even at the West Coast Card Show,
Hmm.
things being priced a little outrageously.
Hmm.
And you know what? If you're going to do that, that's your prerogative. Every dealer, every vendor can do their own thing. I'm not the vending police here, but, maybe don't sticker it, unless you want to do it for shock value. And like have someone ask like, hey, how much is that? Then, you could at least explain it. It's like, hey, I know this is probably a lot, but I really think this card's going to go. I don't know. You know what I mean? That's my
Yeah,
personal preference.
no, I
But
get it.
you do you. Vendors, you do you. Okay, so let's leave it at that. All right, let's move on to hobby headlines. Okay, so again, in last week's episode, I teased that I would be speaking with you, DC, because I knew we set this up earlier. And I wanted to talk to you more about how we in the hobby can make the card show experience better, especially big card shows. I think generally speaking, most of us still had a great time at the National. We had a great time at the West Coast Card Show, but there's certainly things that can always be fixed. And we're just kind of saying off air as the hobby continues to grow, man, I don't know how we can just keep on doing the same things over and over. So I have a few suggestions, but if you got one, you could pipe in at any time. Okay. I'll start though, because I got one on my mind already that I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on. And that's trade night. I didn't really talk about it at all in the last week's episode because I kind of forgot about it. I only went in really for like an hour on the first night after our dinner. And I'm going to tell you that story, or tell our listeners that story. When we landed in Chicago on Thursday, we got there early, spent the whole day there, and then we're exhausted. But, we're like, we got to check out trade night. It was about 6 o'clock when trade night was supposed to begin, the official trade night by the National. And we waited in line for at least an hour. And we moved very like a snail-like pace. And by 7, we're almost at the front, okay? Like this is an hour later. The only saving grace was the people around us. We had a nice conversation about, there were a couple nice kids really into sports cards. So it made the time definitely go pass by a lot faster. But then we're meeting up with you and your crew for dinner at Gibson Steakhouse across the street, and now you said like the reservation was at 7:30. So by that time, we're like, oh, there's no point in just staying in line anymore because if we go in, we can only spend 2 minutes before we got to go to dinner. So we left the line, but that's all to say that the trade night, it was just like busy every single night at the National. So I'm wondering what your impression of trade night was this year. Was it, I know it's always busy, but like, was it at another level, do you think, this year? And what can we do to improve the situation even for next year?
Well, to get into the VIP trade night, you need a bracelet. I think
Mm-hmm.
part of the bottleneck was that some people didn't know that you needed a bracelet to get in. So I
Mm-hmm.
think people lined up and they kind of got shot down at the door. Actually, at one point they got to
Brutal.
capacity. The first night we had bracelets because we had friends that were sponsors, so we went in. But I know this is gonna go on air. We didn't know you had to line up, so
Okay.
we walked upstairs through the escalator, not through Hall G. We actually went to take the shortcut through the hotel, and then
Mm-hmm.
the line just happened to be open, and we walked right in because we had bracelets. Kind of got
Right.
lost in the shuffle of some people that didn't have bracelets, so we got in right away, but still
Mm-hmm.
not early enough to get a table to set up. That was the day
Wow.
we went to eat at Gibson's, right? So
Yeah.
we figured we'd have about an hour or so just to like see if there's any different trade stuff that we could get. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but not being on the dealer side, basically not set up. We're just walking around looking at other people's stuff on the table,
Yeah.
which is good. But again, it's kind of a mishmash of stuff because it's a bunch of people, instead of sitting on the floor, they're sitting at tables, which is
Mm-hmm.
great. But honestly, looking over people's shoulders at people's inventory and stuff like that is a little bit tougher. People are blocking the lanes a little bit more. But I guess lucky for me, I ran into one of my friends, Rich. So Leighton Cards, he owns Leighton's, right? So
Oh, nice.
yeah, so I ran into him and we were just talking briefly, and he goes, "Well, what's in the case?" I go, "I don't know, nothing you'd want." He's like, "No, no, no, there's always stuff I want. I know you have some good stuff." So I went over to his setup and he cashed me out a bunch of stuff, and then
Mm.
it was time to go eat dinner. So that was the trade night that night, and then after dinner we ended up going back to the Westin where Steph and Martin were staying,
Yeah.
and I found some like one dealer downstairs that that had some vintage, so I purchased some vintage cards.
Yeah.
Pretty good deal. um I paid strong because it was really nice stuff, but I was happy to get it because this is the only time again really that I got to look at stuff outside of whatever comes to the table, and,
Mm.
and stuff we're just replacing in the table. So I know that trade night was pretty good too. Literally, it's like you don't need to make a zillion deals. You just need to make one big deal. And I found that every trade night, I was able to make at least one big deal, whether it was sale or trade or purchase. So,
Right.
and the nights that I wasn't there, because since, like I said, Steph and Martin were staying there, we were so tired those other nights that he's like, "Yo, you want to
Yeah.
come to Western?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to. I don't want to leave the Crown, like
Yeah.
our hotel, to go there." But they went back, and just on his way going back to his room, Martin did quite a few deals. He'll show up in the WhatsApp chat. And we're like, "Whoa, where'd this come from?" I was walking
Right.
through the lobby and I did this deal. So he would have new inventory for the next day to put in the booth, which was great.
Mm.
Um,
How
the
busy was the Weston one?
so the first night it was rammed. Like the Wednesday, it was like stupid, stupid, stupid rammed. To
Mm-hmm.
the point that the hotel, they didn't kick everybody out. They actually just moved them downstairs,
Okay.
which was fine. But then somehow, some way, it still ended up going back upstairs into like in the lobby. So I was like, when we were leaving, we're like, how come there's
Yeah.
people up here? They made everybody move, right? So,
Yeah.
but I mean, they were good. I think Sheraton had one too, but they got shut down after the first day. And then we all know about the Hyatt, how they canceled it before
Right.
even, because that was where the big trade nights were the last couple years, was at the Hyatt. I think just multiple conferences are happening and stuff, and people probably complaining, so
Mm.
they canceled it. Which I don't know if that was smart or not. Because to be honest, when you have a bunch of people there that need to eat food or want to drink and stuff, like just from that
Yeah.
alone, the money coming in is something that they must be missing. Um,
Mm.
but I'll tell you, every
But
trade night had its own little thing. Like something was really, really good, or something was, like I said, something I every time got done. Just
okay.
different style. Definitely the VIP trade nights were like super, super busy. And then
The
Friday,
VIP trade night is the one
the
at
one in
the
the conference center.
convention center.
Yeah,
Yeah.
convention center. So Friday, Friday we were same thing. We started lining up because then we went through Hall G, because even though we had the bracelets, they caught on to what we did the first day. So they made us walk all the way to the back to the Hall G.
Yeah.
And by the time we got there, we're like, this is dumb. By the time we get in there, we're not gonna be able to have dinner. So we just skipped out on that
Yeah.
on the Friday. But on Saturday, we got like we have buddies that are sponsors, so we were able to get badges. So we got badges to bypass the whole thing, and then we were able to actually set up. So we actually set up at a table with like Martin, Steph, and I. We all got one table, and then we laid out our stuff, and people came and looked at stuff. And even though I didn't, I sold maybe a couple of cards, but I got that big BBM Otani deal. Like I bought a
Mm.
bunch of stuff from this one dealer because
Yeah.
they're like, oh, you have a lot of Otani stuff. Are you interested in these? And I was like, yeah, for sure. So I mean, I think when people bring you quality product is because they see that that's the kind of stuff you have. So
Hmm.
unless it's something that they want to trade for, but even when they want to sell you something, they'll look and see if you're playing at the same level. Otherwise, they're not going to show you.
Sure. I'm, that's everything you're sharing is like, wow, it sounds like a lot of work just to find a place to set up or go to, and it's like, oh, which place is doing what? Like, it is just like a little chaotic, a little disorganized,
Mhm.
and just imagine like if more people came into the hobby and more people are finding about, oh, trade night, I think I could get a lot of deals done. It's the situation is not going to get any better than what we've experienced at this year's national, right? Because more people are going to want wristbands, more people are going to line up, more people are going to take longer and say this is dumb, what are we doing, just waiting a couple hours to get in. So I mean, like, things top of my head for very popular events, just outside of the whole card thing. There's if you go to Universal, Nintendo World. I just went there in Japan just recently. Very, very popular.
Mm.
Very, very packed. But guess what? There's like a timed entry.
Yeah.
I don't know if that will work, what I mean? But it's an idea where it's like, hey, I'm gonna buy tickets for 6 o'clock to 7:30, yeah, whatever it is. But at least you can control the flow a little bit. What do you
So
think about that?
how many time slots are you going to have? Because if people are supposed to be at the show, and the show doesn't end until 6, are you
Yeah,
going to limit the number of people that get in there from 6 to 7:30 and kick them out?
I mean, this is like again brainstorming. I don't have all the details, but the concept, I don't know. That it sounds kind of appealing.
What
I
about having like a lottery system that
I
everybody
thought
enters
about
in,
that
sort
too.
of like an EQL, and if you win, then you get a table, and you have to be there at a certain time. If you're not, then your table gets given away to the next person or something like that. Uh,
See, I like that even better. I mean, if you talk to our uh, good buddy Will, fellow co-host of this podcast, he'll say EQL is a scam. But I like that idea because it's better. It's just a better organized way of doing things than, hey, you either have to have connections or you got to line up super early. It just seems very disorganized, and I think we need to be more organized, especially as we grow in this hobby, and for trade nights not to be so chaotic.
that's part of the appeal. I don't know if there's an appeal for you, but I would say that's part of what trade night is, though, right? Because trade night is not really supposed to be for dealers, so to speak. It's supposed to be for like the general public to trade with other people in the general public. It's just that what
Mm,
happens is, I mean, dealers are going to get in there because they're going to have a lot of the product. So I mean, unless you want to line up 2 hours ahead, which is what I heard people had to line up for to get a table,
Yeah.
Or if you, like I said, like sometimes you need to have some sort of connection to be able to get in these places ahead of time. I mean, the connections that we have, I feel like it, we spend time to curate those. It's not like we just go in there and it's like, okay, just give us a table. It's by name. They know that we bring different type of value to
Sure.
to there, right? Just like, when we do the ones that like for Veriswap, like when we're in there early. And albeit it seemed a lot more organized in West Coast, but you
Mm-hmm.
have to look at the sheer number of people. It's not quite the same, right? Like you couldn't single file like 10,000 people carrying cases, or like, with roller, like, roller cases and stuff like that. And then people with their kids or stuff like that. Like I don't think you can regulate it. I think the security was a good thing, but having funneling everybody through the one entrance might have been a little bit more difficult, but I guess it's a little bit more orderly. Like even if you
Mm-hmm.
got through the door, you still had to line up. There were still different lines. Um, I,
Inside.
yeah, and obviously, I'm sure they've talked about what fire hazards and whether or not they need a fire marshal with the
Yeah.
number of people and what capacity and stuff like that is. But I don't know how else to do it. But when I'm talking about just when you see the rush of people, like you didn't get to see this, I saw this because we were sitting down already at a
Mm-hmm.
table set up on the Saturday. But when they opened the doors and the free tables were there, you see people running to tables. Oh, there's an empty one. Oh, let's
Yeah.
go get the seats and whatever. Like all these different things. It was crazy. It was crazy. And
Hmm.
I definitely think there are some deals to get done there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I don't want to sound this way. But I'm just saying if I really wanted to do a deal with someone and I knew where the card was, I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't wait to do it at trade night. I would just get it done elsewhere at a more convenient time that's not so.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. But I mean, you go to trade nights without knowing what to expect sometimes,
That's true.
right?
That's true.
You're like, oh,
Um,
maybe I'll find something I like.
and like I said, it surprises me every time because when I go there, I know we have nice stuff. I didn't expect to get those BBMs,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't
Exactly.
think those guys either. But to be honest, that guy was a dealer too, and you know, part of the ability, like I said, has to do with what you're showing, right? Because if you go to trade
Yeah.
night and you're showing me a $5, like in it, like a $5 top loaded, I don't know, like Otani, I don't know,
Don't look
whatever.
down on them. Don't look down.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just like there's a buyer. There's a buyer for dollar cards. There's a buyer for $100 cards. There's a
Yeah.
buyer for $1,000 cards. So
Oh, so you think we should segregate? Let's segregate the
I
lower
don't know.
tier.
I don't know. I'm not saying that that's the case, but I think part of the fun is
Hmm.
being able to is the hunt for the card. I just
Yeah.
I don't particularly like the chaoticness like this.
Yeah.
It,
Me.
it's too
Agreed.
much for me. And I think what happens is at the end of the day too, after working like an 8 hour shift,
Yeah.
you know, it can be quite crazy. Now that being said, I don't have to go to trade night. We just
Hmm.
go there just to see because I don't like to leave any stone unturned. Kind of like I said, every trade night I went to, I
Yeah.
got a deal done.
Yeah. No, I love trade nights, but I'm just saying it was other than the only time we went to trade night was after that Gibson dinner.
Yeah.
Like I went at 10 o'clock, and then we could just walk in because by that time things kind of settled down enough for us to go in just like regular, right?
Yeah.
But other than that, like I heard the next day, you know, talking with a couple people that I knew were there, they're like, "Yeah, I tried, but when I saw the line, I
Yeah,
went
that was a
back."
Friday, and then that was when we got sent to the back. I was like, forget it. Let's just
Right.
leave.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
So.
unless you have an in or you're waiting 2 hours ahead of time, I'm not quite sure. And there's one more
Yeah.
thing. I don't know if you knew, but during the day, during the show,
Hmm.
that room is open for VIP, like not a VIP trading night, but that's
Yeah.
open to anyone that has early access and or dealer badge and stuff. Because that's what we did last year. We sat in
That's
that
yeah.
room
Yeah.
for like early, but they kick everybody out to set up for trade night
Mm.
and then let people back in. And like I know in the past other people have like tried to hide in a bathroom so they didn't have to come back inside. and stuff like that.
That's hilarious,
That is kind
man.
of funny, but you know that there's different tricks that people have
Yo,
tried to
man,
make to.
it shouldn't be this way. You shouldn't have
It
to hide in the
shouldn't.
washroom.
I'm looking for a closet to hang out, a janitor closet, hiding under a table.
This is
Or,
what I mean. We're resorting to madness right now. We're not animals. Come on,
but I'm saying that
but
people are doing that. I'm not saying it's right. I just think like the way trade nights have been, set up. Like I would say, even in the hotels,
Mhm.
these makeshift trade nights are still pretty good. Like you can find inventory, you can find cards anywhere. Just what kind of cards you're gonna get. Um,
Okay, so yeah, maybe I just want things to be better organized. Even if it's like, okay, you got the main trade night here at the convention center, but there's other hotels that, you know what, if you talk to them in advance, let's figure out the best way together to make this orderly so it's not, a
so
distraction or
so
disturbance to other,
what you
people.
do, what you could do
Mhm.
is you have an organizer like who, I don't know, volunteers or whatever,
Yeah.
gets a conference room in a hotel,
Mhm.
and I don't know, maybe they charge tickets ahead of time and you can only go to the trade night if you have a ticket, and you cap the number of tickets. Maybe you do
Right.
something like that. That way the
Yep.
person doesn't show up, they don't do it. But this way it's organized. There's someone at the door. The hotel makes money because they're renting out the conference
Sure.
place.
I don't
And
mind. Yeah.
what you do is you generate a list of all the hotels that are having a participating trade night, whether it be led by a sponsor for that specific hotel, or
Yeah.
even if someone else sets it up before and it becomes a like a satellite official trade night.
Exactly. I love that. And I was thinking on the same lines. So that's a great idea. And before I forget, you kind of mentioned it, and I was thinking the exact same thing. Why do we have trade nights just after the show? Like, I understand that some dealers won't like it. They might think, oh, their potential clients are not going to go see my booth if we have trade night during the day when the show is operating. But like you were mentioning, you're going to have dealers at trade nights anyways, right? So maybe during the day you allocate a certain portion where dealers can set up at the trade night, wherever the trade night or trade day is happening. Let's have trade days, okay? Trade days and trade nights. Let's somehow make that happen, because then you kind of disperse the crowd. Right now, I think one of the reasons why it's so chaotic and so rammed is we just have it during a certain set time after the show is done.
I think logistically, of course, we would like it to do it this way, but from an organizational standpoint, I don't see how that is profitable, because the organizers need dealers to purchase booths so they can put product in there and just
Mm-hmm.
to sell out the space. Now, all of a sudden, if you're going to water it down by having these other trade nights that are like quote unquote sanctioned trade nights during that time, I think it might be tougher for them to retain some of the dealers, because the dealers like, well, why am I paying, for this booth when I can set up a trade night for free? Trade day.
But you only have an hour. You only get allocated an hour.
Oh,
Again,
only an hour.
then we bring back the time entry. Oh, see how everything's kind of working together? Time entry for trade days. You know? I think there's
Okay.
something there.
Yeah, okay. So what happens if you're at 59 minutes and you're not closing your deal? They're going to kick you out?
There's a buffer, 10-minute buffer.
10-minute buffer. So there's going to be a lineup. So by slot 5, you're already an hour behind. People are waiting to get into your trade day.
Just, you know what? Just plug the scheduling just plug into AI. They'll figure it out. The optimal times where you need to have that buffer period, and
So
then
next year, is it going to be Cards to the Moon trade night hosted by Clark at
mhm.
the Sonesta or
No, it's gonna
something?
be Cars to the Moon Trade Day,
Trade day,
sponsored
sorry.
by. Yeah.
Sponsored by Cards to the Moon. Yeah, I don't know. I think you could try. I don't think it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
But I think if someone actually creates an actual sanctioned trade night at a hotel that people are at,
Hmm.
I think it would be good. As long as people know about it before, because like
Yeah.
some of these trade nights are I feel are impromptu. Like a lot
Right.
of stuff you will have to look on social media to find out where's today's trade night, or this one got canceled, so we're moving somewhere else. It's almost like back in the day with the raves, you had to get like an egg, and then the egg will tell you where you're gonna go to the secret location and stuff like that. I mean, like that could be like just another like scavenger hunt kind of thing.
Mm.
But if I think if there were like trade nights that were fully organized at like the five major hotels or six major hotels that are surrounding the
Yeah.
actual VIP thing, I
Yeah.
think people would consider that. And I think if you charge them a nominal fee
Mm-hmm.
just so that they could have like a proper conference center set up and stuff like that, and you cap the number of tickets
Mm-hmm.
just so that even if it's not profitable, like you are just basically sell enough tickets to pay for the room
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, or you can get a sponsor or whatever you do.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good way. That way the hotel is not super pissed off. The hotel still gets paid,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you can set up like a club promotion. Like it's like I sell tickets in advance, I sell them at the door, I get a piece of the bar. I don't know what however you want to do it,
Yeah.
but I think if that was like a sanctioned event and the national says, okay, or maybe even you broke it down by days. It's like on Wednesday there's trade night here, on Thursday there's trade night here, on Friday there's trade night here, in addition to
Mm-hmm.
the VIP ones.
Yeah.
And then, whatever. If impromptu ones happen, they happen. But
Yeah.
if you actually had satellite trade nights, I think it could be something good.
See, this is why I like doing this segment because I think we got to a good solution. I like the sanctioned satellite option. I think
Yeah,
that's what we need, especially again as the hobby grows. We're hoping the hobby grows. Um, that already seems like it'll be much better organized, and I honestly wouldn't mind paying 10, $15 just to go check out a trade night that I know I could get into relatively quickly because I got a ticket. You know what I mean?
for
Like
sure.
I just hate the idea of lining up for over an hour, and
You could
maybe
even
I
go as far as like, with your national admission, there's a discount to the trade night or vice
sure,
versa. All these different things that could be done. There's so many different levels that all, people could sort of make something or like kind of offset something.
yeah.
I think those things could be really, really good.
Yeah, and hotels can provide food, maybe a little bit of drinks, like such an easy win-win scenario to me. But
Yeah.
I'm glad we talked about it. Okay, next one. Let's talk about on-site grading, okay?
Mm,
I talked about this already, but PSA, after one day they had to shut down I believe it was their on-site express grading service, which was about
mhm,
230 because they
mhm.
had so many submissions on the first day alone,
Yeah.
more than all of the days combined from last year's national. I believe that was the stat. So they were at full capacity from the first day. So that means anyone who came to the national on the second day and wanted to line up to get their cards graded and returned by the end of show, well, they were SOL, right? So is there a
Or
better
they
way
pay
to
or
do
they pay
this?
the next level.
Or yeah, right, right. But I mean, I don't know. I'm sure people did. I'm sure people did. But
399.
it's just insane. It's insane, but this is where we are in the state of grading. So my question is there a better way to do this? Like even for Beckett, there's always a lineup at Beckett, as well. You would know, right? Because you've submitted to both. Is there a more efficient way to just drop off your cards, and just to get it graded, hopefully by the end of the show, you get a return. Like that's kind of the appeal. Especially was for me when I started going to these shows. Like, oh, I wouldn't mind paying a little extra to get these cards graded quickly and then back into my hands before the show ends.
So I don't know if this would work,
Mm-hmm.
but you know how Beckett does they have the app that you input all the stuff. Um, what people could maybe do is that they actually preload all their information into that app before the show, or like
Mm-hmm.
maybe they set up time wise that they could, because right now the way it's set up is that you have to scan that QR code when you're at the submission site. Now,
Okay.
if it was blasted out there before that you could um, fill out that form before you got there, and they just have a receiving area where people
Yeah.
like just drop off the cards,
Yeah.
and it would be much quicker because a lot of people they don't know that, some people fill out the form old school way, right? But now they're trying
Mm.
to speed it up by making it online. But if they made it online and available before the show, or someone could do it at home, maybe they could fill it up before and they could speed up the process by having just a receiver verify what cards are actually written there.
Right.
Um, that way, that would speed up some of the process. But at the end of the day, it's still limited the number of cards they can do, not just by the graders, but by the physical number of cards, because they have to press them in the
Mm-hmm.
machine. So if they knew ahead of time how many cards they were getting,
Mm-hmm.
they could, I don't know, maybe they make a meter and says, oh, there's 10,000 card spots we have left. If you get in, you get in. If you don't, you don't. But maybe people can preload this, and it could be a time thing where here's the app, we release it at midnight, you have until whatever time to fill out your stuff, and then if you get X number of spots, then we'll give you those X number of spots. Or maybe
Mm-hmm.
they say, if everyone submits 10 cards, we're going to only allow you to submit 8, so remove 2 of them, and then this way we can put in this into the queue. And then they can
Right.
calculate how long it takes for someone to grade how many cards and press how many cards and stuff like that. For
Yeah.
PSA, if I'm going to be totally honest, I feel like the whole thing with their backlog and stuff like that forced people to really grade at the 230 spot, and it was a money grab. It's always a money grab to me when they run out of spots, because
Right.
they didn't really run out of spots. They only ran out of the cheaper spots. They only have expensive spots left. If you want to
Mm-hmm.
pay $400 or $1,000 or whatever it is, I'll make sure that there's room for you.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I mean, like, a lot of people, the advantage of really, I would say one of the advantages of being a dealer is that you are in there earlier than the general public, so you are able to submit your cards sooner and get them
Mm-hmm.
back sooner. Um, General public didn't get into the show on Wednesday until 1,
Yeah.
but I had already submitted my stuff. I would also make the suggestion that you don't need to grade the stuff yourself. Sometimes you can use a third party and you pay a
Sure.
little bit of a premium, but it's worth it, because I'm not going to line up for 3 hours when I can pay my submitter an extra 10 or $15 to do the lineup when he does all of his cards.
Sure. Sure. I mean, I've used third party and card stores to do that to save
Yeah,
me time. It's totally worth it. I agree.
that would be a good way. I think the problem is that when people, there's like different submitters or group sub guys that are given the allocation of how many spots before the show starts.
Mm-hmm.
General public is already behind,
For
because
sure.
they're like, oh, you can submit, even if you submit on Wednesday, there's like 10,000 cards in front of you anyway,
Right.
right? And that's part of the reality that sucks. But I will also stress that maybe you don't need to grade certain cards anymore. Like that, I think the whole reason of them being backed up is because there's so many cards that are being graded that really have no reason to be graded. I mean, like, if you want to encase something, fine.
Mm-hmm.
You have to encase it with BGS or PSA. You can encase it with CSC, a CGC, and get it done the next day. So, like, don't. I don't think
Which
you
is what
can
I
use.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think you can use as an excuse as well. I want it to be this because this, and this, but don't tell me that you just want it to be encased. If you just want it to be encased, it could be in anything. It could be in a top loader.
Sure. For that case, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Um, but still, I feel like, and I think those are good suggestions, like you mentioned. And I can't believe that with that QR code, like, actually CGC, when I did that as kind of an experiment for myself, I was able to fill everything online
yeah,
before, and I
yeah.
just brought the slip, dropped it off, and then dropped out the cards, and it was that easy. And I got it the next day. Um, And I think I mentioned on my pod, the only thing I will complain about is their whole pickup service is a little slow, just because they don't have the manpower. And so I don't know if they ever got really busy. I wonder if they would run into the same issue of providing expeditious service, right? But with PSA and Beckett, if they don't do it already in terms of filling out all the information, even like, with technology, I'm sure there's a way just to scan it somehow, and then the AI will go into the database and know exactly what card it is. So then that all the things you need to fill out get done much quicker. I think that's just a matter of time that they'll have that. But I think with the increase in demand for grading, because PSA 10s have a certain premium, especially if you want to resell, I wonder if there is a better way of like managing the flow of card intake right at the shows. Because it's just a super waste of time having to wait in line for a couple hours just to submit your cards. Like if you're going to a card show and you're only there for a day, do you really want to spend a quarter of your time just
And the
at
lineup.
exactly
So
waiting to submit cards?
couple of things I'll comment on here. The first thing is that from an optics standpoint, I think, and I can't confirm or deny that this is the reason, but when
Mm-hmm.
there's a longer lineup, people are drawn to it a little bit more because they're like, well, there's a reason why. There's a demand. So
Right.
sometimes I feel like it's a created as a manufactured demand where it's like, okay, I'm not going to say which company because I think they all do it. They'll say we're going to open at this time, but technically they don't even show up for like half hour later. But while the line builds up,
Mm.
right? So now it shows that we're in demand. Like, if you really really want it, and they've built a brand to such a degree that it's like, if you really really want it, you'll line up for it. Now, it's up to the consumer because at the end of the day, as we all know, even though we complain about what the pricing is, we
Mm-hmm.
still pay.
Right.
And it's just
Yeah.
like that. It's just the way it is. I'm not saying it's right. And then one other thing I mentioned, and I mentioned this in the last pod, part of the reason why the backup, and this is not for the national, because I would say specifically the national is, I saw way more sports cards than TCG, but
Mm.
maybe they got to break up
Right.
lines for, if you're doing TCG, it goes to this side. If you're doing sports, do it this side.
Yeah.
And then you'll really see where the breakdown is and where the bottlenecks are. Because that's
Mm-hmm.
where the analytics comes in. Then you can see how you make it better.
Yes. That's a no-brainer, I think. That's a no-brainer. And I mean, people are going to argue, well, that's what the case is now and things could flip at any point. But, even if it flips, then, you could, with the data, you can still make the overall service better rather
Sure.
than just clumping it all into one group and have everyone complain about how slow things are. Right. So, just again, off the top of my head, I wonder, when you go to like here where we live, Service Ontario, or like just
Oh my.
anywhere, where there's a lineup. Can you just grab a number and then when it's your turn, just come back? Like, can we
Or
do a
text
system
me
like
when
that?
I'm like 10 minutes away or something.
Right. Like, why do we are we other than well, your theory of like, oh, this line creates the optic of something in high demand, and I get that too. Trust me, if I go to CNE and I'm like, why are people lining up? Must be good.
Yeah.
Like I get caught up into that too, that psychology. But I mean, like, come on, save people time by just giving a number. And if it's like a million people, you're like, oh my goodness, maybe make a portion of the day like lottery, so like, oh, everyone's got a chance to have something graded. Maybe you limit the number of cards for the shows, like in terms of what you can get graded. I don't know, something to balance things out, maybe to make it more appealing to more people.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, like, I kind of would feel discouraged if I had one card I really liked. I have an awesome superfractor, I want to get it graded, but it's just impossible to do it because of the current situation we're in now.
Yeah, no, that's definitely different. Like in Toronto Expo, Beckett changed at the last show. They limited each person to 5 cards.
Mm.
I felt that was quicker.
Yep.
I think it also allowed them to grade the cards quicker. And this is just a small tip. that if you're ever grading, well, I don't know how it works with PSA, but for Beckett, if you're doing on-site for Beckett and
Mm-hmm.
you have, say you have 20 cards you want to grade, break them up into 10, like 10 card lots or
Okay.
less than 10 card lots. Because what happens is when they grade the whole order. And sometimes like it takes a little longer to do, like say someone sees like a grading order of 2 or like multiple grading orders of 2 and then
Mm-hmm.
one grading order of 20. I think what happens is they grade the 2s first just to get them. No,
Okay.
no, I'm not
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah, yeah. Just to get it done.
Just to get them
And
done. So
yes,
if you have a
right.
big order, then you might be waiting longer because
Mm.
the physical number of cards is not discouraging to the person that they're still going to do it. It's
Yeah,
just that
it's just
to
work.
to
Yeah.
complete that order, it doesn't look as good as if you completed 10 orders instead of one.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. I wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly what goes on.
But yeah,
But
well, that's what happened. Is because like I remember when I was in Dallas and we did a sub. One of my buddies, he had a sub of 20 as well.
mhm.
And he broke it up into 2, and he
Mhm.
got his a day before me.
There you go.
Both ordered.
There's
Both
okay.
ordered. Yeah. Well, it's kind of crazy. I don't know. Like I said, but still, what Beckett did with the limit to 5, I think that sped up a lot of things. Toronto, and like basically people instead of, I know it's kind of inconvenient to go more than once to line up, but like you said, it's more of a fair shot for
Yeah,
other people to get their grading in too.
which is what I like.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. There's some good ideas that came out of that. But I just think the way things are done now, like especially after this year's national, is just insane where we are. Especially with PSA, of course, because they're the leaders right now. But yeah, we're paying for more for, like I said in the pod before, we're paying a lot more for crappier service. That's what we're
I
doing
think
right
what
now with
sucks is
PSA.
like when you're getting a sub back and it costs you so much more because you're getting it quickly, like you're getting it on site. If
Yeah.
you don't hit your grades,
Oh
then
man,
it's
that's
extra
yeah.
sad because
Yes.
now it's like, I mean, to be fair, like I have to think about if a card is worth grading or not at like a $300 clip,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
the
You
card to
have to
me's
think
got to
about
be
it.
over 5,000 or 3,000 or whatever that the perceived value is, because then you think about it as a percentage what your cost is into that
Sure.
card. Um, like you're not going to be grading $1,000 card at $300 because
Hmm.
if it comes back a 9 or like it's just not worth it. And I think this is what
Yes.
they're trying to do right now. I mean, that's why bulk grading is suspended, and there's rumors that it's not even going to come back after this backlog is done.
I heard that too,
Yeah,
which would be insane. Oh well, we'll see soon enough, or maybe not soon enough, but we'll see.
they're
We'll see
backlogged again.
it
I
went
heard
the
the
other
numbers went
way.
back up.
Oh my god! Since last time?
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. PSA, what are you guys doing?
doesn't
All
matter.
right.
People still pay.
People still pay. We're dummies. Okay. I mean, those two sections took a lot longer than I thought it would. So I'm gonna kind of do this rapid fire. But when I was at the show and you were saying, oh, and I messaged you, I'm like, where are you guys? Oh, I'm at 3713. It wasn't intuitive. Like I was looking up and then it's like 3600, but then when I looked at other people's sites, like why is 3813 here? And so it was kind of a little, I
Oh,
don't know. The map wasn't, I don't know. It just wasn't clear to me. So I wonder if there's a better way. Maybe this is definitely a personal thing. A better way to organize the showroom floor. I did like the whatnot section, the breakers being all together. You know what I mean? Like
mhm.
just if you're not into breaking, just skip that section. Easy to skip it instead of, seeing one here and seeing one there. So I like that part, but I wonder if we could do that for the rest of the show with vendors, I know certain vendors have different product, but if I don't know, is there a way when you buy a table or buy a booth, say, oh, I predominantly have these cards. So maybe the organizers can be helped that way. Say, okay, if you mostly have vintage, I'll put you in vintage. If there's a mix, then you kind of put the mixed people together.
Um,
Because when I went to your booth, I'm like, oh, there's other cards, but they're on the other side of the showroom floor. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh man, I gotta go back to DC after this. That's another 5-10 minute walk.
no, yeah, I think that's a little bit more difficult when it goes by inventory.
Mm,
Um, I know West Coast when they do the joint sports and TCG, a lot of the time the TCG is in a certain section. Now
sure.
we'll have certain. There's going to be some outliers where like people have TCG and sports,
Right.
but I'd
Yep.
say people that are predominantly only TCG were in previous years. Again, I don't know about this year, but in previous years, I remember there was a specific section that was mostly TCG.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as an idea, and I don't know if this will work, if someone builds an app
Mm-hmm.
that you can download and say, I want to go to this booth, if you know the booth number,
Yep.
what if the booth number had like almost an air tag? And
Okay.
then
Yeah.
you can track where that air tag is, and then you can walk through your interactive map to that spot. Now, to bring this up into another level,
Mm-hmm.
what if, and I don't know if this will work, but what if each dealer, if they had their inventory
Yep.
and it could be entered into an app via like a CSV or a spreadsheet of some sort,
Yep.
and then the person in the app can say, I'm looking for a mantle card. It'll show every booth that has a mantle.
Beautiful.
And
Yeah.
then you could even AI comes in and plans your best route.
Oh,
Here,
I love
you
it.
want to see all the
Yeah.
mantles? This is what you're going to do. You're going to go to this booth first and then this booth. This is the most optimal route to take. And then this is your path.
Yeah. Amazing. Let's do it.
Seriously, I'm a
Yeah.
consultant, man. Like I'm just gonna start a new business. Forget cards. I'm just gonna think of this stuff.
There's more money in being a consultant. So yes,
Oh, I
you're
don't doubt
thinking the
it.
right way.
But I mean, like that could be really good. Like even if people had access to download this app before the show, they could really plan it. It's like me going to Disneyland or Universal. I've already decided what rides I want to go on, which
Mm-hmm.
which things I want to see, what shows are at what time, and I can plan it.
So I love it. I'm fully on board, and I believe I gotta double check this, but I believe Haystack, that company that has the scanner, that makes. I think right before the show they introduced like a software that's associated with the machine that for authorized dealers only, they could scan their cards, and it does create a database, and it shows if you have the Haystack app which dealer has what cards at the show. So it's kind of similar to what you're saying, right? But I guess the issue or the problem or the challenge is how do you make that more widely adopted at shows? Because, there's going to be dealers that are like, I don't want to deal with like putting my database. I have a lot of cards. I don't want to go through it. Like I think the adoption is going to be the challenge.
Well, I mean, the internet was also something new to many people. I think if it becomes something that's like the disruptor could be
Yeah.
really good. What if Haystack gave one of these machines to every dealer or something like
Mm,
that, or they sponsored something as a this is a value add.
yeah.
If not only can we scan your cards and keep your inventory, we
Yeah.
also develop like give you high res scans of the card. People can look at it and stuff like that. um I think as a cost, if people don't want to pay or don't want to participate, that's actually their loss,
Yeah.
right?
I
Because then
agree.
people couldn't find you. I mean, I'll be honest with you, we have a lot of good cards in our booth, and people are like, "Oh, I wish I knew your booth earlier because I purchased this for a lot more, or I couldn't find it, and now I already
Yeah.
spent my money and stuff like that." And that's where booth placement is actually
Mm,
quite important.
yeah.
But if someone created this app where and someone like you have to link all these different things together, whether or not it's one group or like a conglomerate of different vendors to do all these things,
Yeah.
this could be something really really good. Because if I wanted to look for uh like a 52 mantle,
Hmm.
I know 6 booths out of these 1,000 have one, for instance.
Yeah.
And then if you want to go into the next level, you can see what grade, you can see the cert, you can see everything about this.
Yeah. So,
You could even go down to what showcase number it's in.
right.
No, no, seriously.
Sure.
Seriously.
Sure.
So I
Yeah.
think like if you could integrate all those different things, I mean, that would be something very, very useful. I think it just shows the way the hobby is moving. And if you're the type of person that just likes to hunt for cards, then just don't use the app.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I like it. That reminded me of another company, Mascot, the CEO, Ezra Levine. I don't know if he's still there. This is a couple seasons ago. And he was trying to do this at a much smaller show where he was trying to onboard some of the owners, store owners and dealers to put their cards into inventory, a database, and so that they could find their booth and all the cards that they put into the system at the show. So it's kind of similar, but again, I think why it kind of fell flat or we don't hear about it now until more recently with Haystack is the whole adoption and onboarding process has to be, I guess, easier for, you know what I mean? Like
That's true.
there's early adopters, and I'm hoping that it'll just become so easy that like to your point, if you don't do it, it's going to be disadvantageous for you. You know what I mean? Like people are not going to know. And maybe one idea is why doesn't Haystack or whoever provides this technology be the company that provides the interactive map? Like this year, Ludex was the one where you had to download their app to see the interactive map for the national, which I did. But the map itself wasn't that great, you know, and it wasn't. It's like I got to turn it around this way to see where I am exactly. What you know, which way is north, and kind of figure out where the booths are. But if you had a interactive map provided by Haystack, and they incorporate some of the things like what we're talking about, maybe that's an easy way for to onboard people to use this technology for their benefit. Do you know what I mean? And maybe it takes a couple iterations. Maybe it's the 2029 national will see this.
For sure. I mean, like even if you got like Google or Apple Maps involved, where it's like kind of like I mean, it already tracks how you're walking. I mean, maybe it kind of tracks what direction, like if you want directions and stuff like that. Just has to give some access to them with the show map. I think the only thing as I think about this now that might be a difficult part of this whole haystack thing is that when a card is transacted, that dealer has to remove it from their inventory. Otherwise, the person's going to go there and goes, "Oh, I sold it already, or I
Right.
traded it already." So there's definitely a lot of dealer interaction that needs to get done,
Mm-hmm.
or it becomes automated to a degree where you actually have to mark it off and then it gets refreshed in the app or something. I think the other thing is too that might people might have some issue is like, oh, I don't want people knowing what cards I have.
I was gonna say that too.
Yeah, and that could be it too because that could lead to people being getting targeted for theft,
mm, right.
for robbery, like whatever. I mean, like even so, like at the show, the big thing right now is that father or grandfather
Father and son. Yeah,
kid
yeah.
that stole that Mahomes. Like right now, you know, social media is doing its stuff to try to
Track
catch
him.
these guys, but you know, the theft already is just crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
even when I was there on the Sunday and I was talking, you know, anybody that comes to the booth, I go, oh, anything I can help you with and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. And I was actually talking to security because they were following this one guy suspected group
Man.
that they were suspected of like stealing stuff. And he was just telling me he was just like, you know, chatting with me and I was asking questions. It was kind of
Yeah.
interesting. But the fact that there's still people actually tracking people down is good. I think there definitely needs to be more cameras. I feel that like we didn't have cameras set up here, but I know Steph and Martin every time we go to set up in another show, like our own
Mm-hmm.
booths, they always have cameras. So
Mm-hmm.
if you see something that went missing or some like you know anything helps. If
Yeah.
it became not maybe it's mandatory that everyone has a camera or something like that that it would actually help people catch thieves and stuff
Sure.
like that, even if it's after the fact.
Yeah, no, that's a whole different issue, a real issue too. So yeah, absolutely. But I love how we got into what's better showroom organization to how do we prevent theft of
Well, it's just
these
funny
cards?
because they're all kind of linked, right? I mean, like
Yeah,
you
for
have a
sure they
good
are.
idea, you have a good
Yeah,
idea, but then you start thinking of like, well, why wouldn't it work?
right.
Stuff like that. But I think the concept can be modified. Just it wouldn't be done on the podcast. We'd actually have to sit there and map it all out
Sure.
instead of just spitballing like we are.
All right. Yeah. So let's have a meeting after this, and then we'll write it all down.
How can
No,
we
those are good.
monetize? How can we monetize?
Yeah. All great ideas. I was gonna throw out, maybe just Meta gives out glasses, and then you just look. It just points to where the booth you're looking for is. You know what I mean? Meta,
Mm.
brilliant, brilliant, cheap glasses. Make a cheaper version for shows, and then you're like, Meta, where's DC's booth? Oh, that's 3072. Turn left here. Just go straight.
Wow.
Hey,
Yeah. Again,
technology.
another privacy issue, I think.
You
Um,
know what? We give up our privacy rights every day
this
when
is true.
we.
Who reads those terms of services?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up this. This has been fun for me, at least. I
Yeah.
love brainstorming and thinking of new ideas, even though they might be a little far off. But you never know in the hobby. Things just happen when more people get involved. But I do want to say one thing before we close off this segment. Do you think we need better food options at the National?
I think they need a food court.
Yes,
Like
that's what I
there's so
said.
much
Yeah,
space. Like behind where we were, there was like blocked off stuff where they had machinery and stuff like that. But if they had a proper food court
clear it out. And yes,
and just make it, and I think the options have to be better than some of the food that we saw. Like I mean, we did a lot of Uber Eats because at least we could control some of the
hmm
food. Like I I don't know, but eating hot dogs every day is kind of gross. Chips and soda. I mean, not every collector is trying to like there's a lot of health conscious stuff. Honestly, part of the reasons why I don't like going to shows is I really can't control like the food
yeah,
quality and stuff that I normally would eat when I'm here.
yeah.
Um so that part kind of bothered me. But also one more thing that I have to mention for the national, there were
hmm
no water stations.
that was surprising.
That
That
bothered me
was
a lot.
ridiculous. Yeah, because I'm like, I'm gonna just save this bottle of water because I could refill it. Didn't refill it once because I couldn't find
I can
anything.
only refill at the hotel.
Right? Yeah, that's the only option.
Yeah, so that thing has to get done. I know Fanatics Fest had
Yep.
the refill stations, which is great. West Coast did it have? I don't
I think
remember.
they did.
Yeah,
Or
they
maybe that
did.
was Fanatics. I'm mixing it up now,
Fanatics
but
Fest for
yeah,
sure. West Coast, I don't
yeah,
remember. But the national, that's something that has to get fixed.
100% agree. Let's see it happen. National organizers for next year. Next year's at Chicago again, so I
Yeah.
don't know what they can do. But yeah, I agree with you. One thing I won't change, and we'll for sure move on after this. You mentioned the EQL,
Mm.
the draw with tops, like on-site, in-location activations are a no-brainer. Like every card show should have something like that, rewarding people that are at the show personally in person. Love that. So Fanatics Fest has done that too. But I think all big shows should consider what creative way can we do on-site activations. So I want to shout out the National for doing that, partnering with Tops to make that happen. I thought that was pretty cool. Okay.
EQL trade night tickets.
Yeah, there you go. Great way to loop everything together. Love
Hmm.
it. Okay, let's move on to show and tell. All right, we'll spend about 10 minutes or so because it's already running long, but 10 minutes or so. Show me your best cards that you picked up recently at the National, presumably.
Best
So
cards.
I will describe, or you will help describe what they are for our podcast listeners.
Okay, so I got a PC card. Actually, I got a
Okay.
couple PC cards that these
Okay.
will never be sold.
I love it. What is
Okay?
it? Oh yeah, I saw this on your Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, right? The
Super
WWE.
Factor. Super Factor.
Oh, I didn't know it was a super.
It's out of Leaf, but it's a super. It's a 101.
Okay.
Ricky Steamboat. It was great. Anytime I see a wrestling guy, first thing I ask, "Oh, you have Ricky the Dragon Steamboat?" Some people they look at me like, "Who?"
Who? Yeah.
Right? And I go, "Okay, you're too young." But the old heads, they're like, "Oh my
Hmm.
god, he doesn't sign anymore. I wish I could get some stuff." So
Okay.
I was really happy. This guy came to the booth and he asked me if I had any wrestling. I go, I don't have any. But do you? And he's like, oh, and he said, all I collect is wrestling. I go, do you have Ricky the Dragon Steamboat? And he's like, I do. And I
Oh
see it.
man.
I'm like, this is a 101. He's like, yeah. I go, is it cheap? Like, how much is it?
Yeah, yeah.
I got it for $120.
Wow, that's an awesome
And I told him, I go, I'm
deal.
never selling it. Like, that's the only wrestling card I will have. I have
Yeah.
other Ricky the Dragon Steamboat stuff, but that was pretty crazy. This is a very cool card.
I held that, yeah. The Jimmy Key, what from what's up tops?
This is
19.
1985 tops. It's
Yep.
not the card I care about. It's the actual inscriptions.
Yeah, you want to say what the inscription is?
The inscription is
It's a long one.
Jimmy Key, 2 times World Series champion, 92, 96, 5-time All-Star, 85, 91, 93, 94, 97. MLB win leader, 94. MLB ERA leader, 87. Like, that is a crazy, crazy card. Like, I've
I
never
like
seen a
that.
description like this. It filled the whole card, except for his
Yeah,
face.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? It reminded me for all old school Jays fans just how good he was back in the
Oh,
day,
yeah.
The
Amazing.
lefty, the curveball
Oh,
is
yeah.
unhittable.
Amazing.
Unhittable.
Amazing.
He was Kershaw before, Kershaw actually played.
This was the first card I got at the National.
Right. It's an Ice Cube autographed card.
Yeah.
I don't even know what set that's from.
This is from Rap Pack.
Okay.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. This guy came to the booth and he sold some cards to Eli, and I saw this card. I go, I need this card. So I bought this card for $100.
You're a big Ice Cube fan?
I'm a big like any rappers kind of stuff. Like a lot of the non-sport stuff I collect. Like
Yeah.
I collect like any musical on card stuff.
Mhm.
I collect Donnie Yen.
Okay.
Donnie Yen autos. So usually it's out of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And like I have that Simu Lu Superfractor auto in Chinese that I got back from
That's
grading
cool.
from Beckett, and it's a 9510.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Okay.
so I mean I have to find it later, but that is a great card, and like that card should never leave the collection. Canadian and Asian, like any Asian
Yes.
actor, I try to grab. Like I would love a Bruce Lee auto. I would love like a
Ooh.
Jackie Chan auto, a Jet
Mhm.
Li auto. Like if I could find those, and I think some of them exist. Bruce Lee is like super, super, super rare, and then probably
Right.
like a cut auto. But Jackie Chan actually does have an auto, but it's very rare as well.
Like on cards or like photographs?
On
What are you
card.
talking about?
On card.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So
This is not your typical show and tell from DC already.
no. So
It's
this
a
is like
Gengar.
Gengar. This is from Sword and Shield Fusion Strike.
Yeah.
Gengar VMAX. What is a UR? What does that mean?
You are?
Yeah. VMAX UR. I don't know what that means, but basically my friend gifted me this card.
It's a
Because-
Pokemon card for anyone that's still wondering, but yes, go ahead.
And because I bought three other Gengars. So
Uh-oh, you're going deep
so
into the
I got
Gengar collection.
This one.
Okay, another Gengar.
This
This
is
I can't even help you with. Yeah, what's that?
CEF English Gengar EX Ultra Rare. So I
Oh,
like this
okay.
because he looks like the Gengar in you see here.
Yep. Yep.
He's like
Over
a
your
fat,
shoulder.
he's like a fat Gengar. So I thought it was funny, and basically what happened was because Steph was doing Pokemon and stuff, and like
Mm-hmm.
I like Gengar for a while now, but I actually have this card in the 9 that I bought in
Okay.
Vancouver. But now it came in a 10, so I'm just gonna sell the 9 and I'm gonna keep the 10.
Yeah.
Um,
And buy another Gengar.
yeah, basically I told her, I go, if there's any Gengars that are a good deal,
Yeah.
tell me and I'll buy it. So I bought this Japanese Gengar. So basically what happened was because Eli had two Pokemon cases, and
Yeah.
Steph was in charge of those. So when some stuff came to the table, Eli would buy like the majority of it, and then
Mm-hmm.
if there's any Gengars in it, they let me have it at whatever the deal was. So this
Right.
is a Pokemon M2A Japanese Mega Gengar EX Special Art Rare. So I got a
SARs.
definitely good deal. I think it's down. It was down, so I got it on the low, and it should pick up again. And then this is my biggest one. So it's the English version of the same thing.
Right.
Yeah,
It's always a premium on the English versions.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with those. This did I show you this?
No, what is that?
This is the sealed pack, Nike promo sealed pack of the Jordan year. So 85. You
Mm.
know the big one that I got.
Yeah. The oversized one
Yeah,
where
the
he's
oversized one.
the Air Jordan position.
This one.
Yep.
So I got this one at West Coast,
Mm-hmm.
BGS 8. So this one is a sealed pack.
Where you can hit one of those potentially.
No, you get all 5.
Oh, what?
So
Oh, okay.
Jordan's in here, Lance
Yeah.
Parrish, John McEnroe, and
Oh,
I
I
think
see.
Joe Montana.
So that's the Nike Air promo pack,
Yeah.
essentially?
So
Okay.
usually you only see this card.
Right.
This is the pack
Oh,
that it
interesting.
comes in. So you get 5 cards that Nike did
Yeah.
promo. So I'm deciding whether or not to just grade the pack because
Yeah.
it's still sealed,
Or
or
rip
or try to grade the card
the MJ.
because it's on the back. You can see.
How much are those MJs going for?
So this PSA 8 is like 2,500 as a 9
BGS 8 or
BGS
PSA 8.
BGS 8
Okay,
as a
yeah.
9.5. It's like 10,000.
Hmm.
As a PSA 10 is 30.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and I think this is probably the next Jordan stuff to go up. You know how the stars had its time. I
Yep.
think this card's gonna go up. So I haven't decided what I want to do yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I might just either grade the pack or grade the card. So maybe I don't know. Maybe you put a poll at
Sure.
the end, or people can comment because I'm not sure what I want to do yet. But
Yeah, we
the
will.
pack looks pretty mint. I just kept it in the slab case,
Hmm.
in the slab mag
Where did you get it? At the National?
at the National.
Okay.
That was part of the trade. I traded a mantle, a 52 Bowman mantle, and I got
The one you picked up at West Coast?
the one I picked up at
Oh,
West
different
Coast. I
one.
traded for something else. I traded for a Kobe auto. I'll show you after. I traded for a Kobe auto and some cash. But then I picked up another one at a trade night. It was a PSA 4, like as a NBA silver label.
Hmm.
So this guy came in, really wanted it, and I got Star Jordan, the All Star Court, or
Okay.
sorry, Court Kings. It was the yellow 85 Star Jordan Court Kings
Yep.
and BGS 75, and I got that pack, and I got some cash. So
Nice.
pretty happy. Next one. So this is a
SGA, I recognize that auto.
it's a SGA. It's a National Treasures 101 black box. So what happened was my friend had 5 black boxes,
Okay.
and
Can you explain what black boxes are for people who are unfamiliar?
okay, so a black box is basically when you have a redemption with Panini that is unfulfilled.
Yeah.
Usually the National, what you can do is you can exchange your unredeemed redemptions for either packs or boxes. And the boxes are really the more expensive stuff that you have. I don't know what the value. I would say the value of the black boxes are, they say, between 1,500 and 3K. Depends on your redemption. So if your redemption is like super high, maybe you can negotiate more.
Okay.
But my friend basically had 5 boxes, and I was feeling lucky. Like that, the days are crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So cracked it open. This is the first one I got.
Very
So,
nice.
and out of National Treasures is, it's a big one. Um, I got this Anthony Edwards, and these are all on card.
Oh,
Anthony Edwards
nice.
out of Impeccable.
Yep. Is it numbered?
Well, they're all
Because
one of
all.
ones.
Oh, they're all okay.
Well, they're not real
Black
one of
box one of
ones,
ones.
but
Yeah.
black box 101. But a lot of the time, you can actually look back, and based on the color of the card, you can see what it was supposed to be, whether it was out of 5, out of 10, out of 25.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, because they're the same cards that were, except they weren't printed because they probably weren't redeemed. So what happens is they didn't stamp a number on it. But for instance, if you got like a flawless emerald card, it's
Mm-hmm.
usually out of 10,
I
right?
see.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can see like this is a blue one.
Right.
So I'm not sure what the impeccable ones is, but you can look it up and you can see what it would have been.
Hmm.
Uh,
Gotcha.
so I got this Luca out of impeccable too,
Nice.
101. So even these, they range. Like obviously the National Treasures is worth more because it's a higher end set,
Yeah.
right? And I had an Eminence Curry, which I got from before, which I traded out of.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also had one of these was a Curry, another Curry auto, but I transacted that before I
Mm.
left the show. And my last one, which I
Yes.
showed Wolfhart,
Right. I saw this too.
David
David
Beckham,
Beckham. Yeah.
but out of Eminence. Look how thick this card is.
Yeah. Why is it that thick? Does it have a
It,
jersey or a patch?
no, it doesn't. It's
What
just
is-
Eminence is like super, super thick.
That's
And
hilarious.
this is crazy because like that's my second David Beckham. This is David Beckham rookie.
His rookie card. Okay. What year?
This is out of 1995. Man U rookie, and it's out of 500.
What's the set it comes out of?
This is Raven.
1995 Raven.
I never heard of it. He just told me. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
cool card. I think
Yeah.
like
You don't
like
see that often for sure.
so like your friend was saying on the it's a deep value investor on your line.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Last
know,
week.
get cards that people don't have.
Yeah.
If you get them in a high grade, that's bonus. But
Yeah.
honestly, no one sees these cards, right?
There you go.
Like this one.
Someone's grail. Yeah. Oh, King Griffey.
This is a sick insert. It looks like a credit card. It's a gold card, looks like,
Okay.
but it's a BGS 10.
What set did that come from? I've
This is out
never
of
seen that.
Studio 1995 Studio.
Okay. I remember those studio packs. Yeah.
Yeah, but you ever seen this card?
No, never.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool. But what's cooler than a Ken Griffey Gold BGS 10 is a platinum
Platinum card.
Amex card. Looks like BGS 10 Ken Griffey Jr.
So what? Did you get that from the same guy?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. It's like, it'd
was
be so
very, very
random
cool.
if you. Yeah.
Is a really, really good friend of mine. So
Okay.
he knows like those will never leave either. Like I'm gonna keep those.
Shohei Otani. Is this the last one?
No,
Shohei Otani.
this is not the last one. We're not close. But anyway, ultraviolet out of gold.
Yes.
It's out of 50.
Mm-hmm. Topps
Thi-
Chrome. Yeah.
I think this set is gonna blow up soon too. Like all the ultraviolet stuff. I think it's gonna
There's
be
the
really
new
good.
ultraviolet, so I don't even get how they do that. It just looks completely different from that one you just showed me, the older ones. It's just
Yeah.
Bowman Anime. I've seen that.
So,
First year that they issued the Bowman Anime
so I'm gonna
reissued.
this
Yeah.
is a crack and resubmit card. I think this card raw is like almost 3K US. So I got this.
Okay, that's another Otani.
It's it's a short print. It's the
Yep.
red warm up with bat, but SGC 10. So you know what I'm doing with this.
Cracking it out. Okay.
Yeah.
Couple more, please.
See this,
Alan Ginter
but it's a
of
black
Otani again.
version. It's Otani. It's a low pop
Mm-hmm.
auto. Tops tier 1 out of
Yeah.
35. This is a big one. So
Top's finest, right?
Bowman's
Green?
best.
Oh, Bowman's best. Okay, my
Bowman's
bad.
best
Bowman's
rookie
best.
green. So that's out of
Nice.
99. That's a big card. Then the BBM stuff I got,
Yep.
multiple ones.
Mm-hmm.
And like right now, I think it's a good time to pick those up. They're gonna go up.
The
And
BBMs?
yeah, they're down a little bit right now, but I think after the Scooble trade, I feel like they're pretty locked.
Another BBM?
Yeah.
How many BBMs do you get?
I got
7? Oh, 6. Okay.
That was during the trade night.
Oh, right. You mentioned it. Oh, there you go. Roberto Clemente.
Yeah, that's my first actually Roberto Clemente rookie that I've ever had.
What year was that from again?
1955.
1955.
And these are
Tops.
notoriously super off-center.
Yeah.
So I was really happy to get this copy.
Mm-hmm.
1986 Jordan sticker, PSA 8.
Yep.
Just 2 more.
Kobe
Kobe
Bryant.
auto on card out of Noir.
Yep.
And like I told you, I traded that Jordan. This was one of the other pieces I got. And this is a Kobe chronology card. And what's great about this card, it looks like a painting.
Yeah, it does. It's like on canvas.
Yeah, even the auto looks super, super cool on here.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I mean, this card, I think is going to be like super, super high at some point. I mean, it's still pretty high. Yeah. But I think it's going to be super, super high. Like, all the Kobe stuff has been going up, has been crazy.
There you go. Awesome cards. Again, thanks for showing us. I like the stack of Shoheis you showed very quickly at the end. But
well, I have more. I just wanted we were lack of time, so
I know we're almost at an hour 30. So yeah, that's a good time to finish off this episode. But we got to finish it off with our regular weekly segment we call Pick One. Okay, so as usual, DC doesn't have one, but I do. So this is a little bit more personal. So actually, it might work out because it's not just a pick one of 2. But pick one of 4, okay? And it's a little different too because it's not one card really, okay? And you'll understand it in just a second.
Pick one of 4, huh?
Listen, you gotta just listen, okay? This is more simple though. This is not like pick one of 4 different cards from different sets.
Okay.
It's just one card. It's the 1949 Bowman Jackie Robinson. If you follow my content, you know I picked my first vintage card ever up at the National. Had to do at the National.
Great copy.
Great copy. I love it. It's on my shelf right now. Beautifully centered. So the question is, I have it in an SGC 50, the old label SGC 50, which is a very good to excellent VG-EX. Would you pick that or SGC 4 new label, which is what it will get reholdered as? If I went to SGC actually while I was at the National, and I'm like, hey, if I get this reholdered, what would it come back as? They said SGC 4. So that's what it would be. Okay. So that's 2. BVG 4, the Beckett vintage grading 4, or a PSA 3. So those are your 4 options.
PSA 3.
Really?
Yep.
Why? Just because it's PSA?
Well, PSA will give you the most value when it comes dollar-wise. I think most of the time, those cards, like those other grades what you were mentioning, people assume is going to be one grade below. What you have specifically, because I saw the card, the centering is really, really good. I mean, that to me is the most important factor of any vintage card. I think
Mm-hmm.
color comes a very, very close second, color and
Yeah.
registration, but the centering to me is the biggest. So like corners, like I don't, I it's not that I don't care. I just don't care as much. If
Right.
they were rounded and it was centered, I would still
Yeah.
rather have that copy. And
Agree.
those kind of things that you can get um, will get you more value. The grade matters to a degree, but at the end of the day, for vintage,
Mm.
if you can find that buyer that appreciates vintage specifically because of the aesthetic look, you can get more for it. Like both my mantles I got were really, really nicely centered. Color was
Mm-hmm.
really, really good. And I got above comps for them.
Hmm.
Or like it's like the very, very high end of the spectrum for comps.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I told you, but the guy that I met at West Coast that wanted to buy that Mantle 3 from me,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't buy it, but he came to the National, recognized me, and asked me, do I still have it? I go, I don't have it. I sold it this morning. And he's like, that card has been haunting me since I
Yeah.
met you at the National. And he is like saying now he was ready to trade stuff or whatever. I wish I saw him again because I got an even nicer one after.
Right.
But like I said, in the price point, I would rather have that in a PSA holder than an SGC holder.
Hmm. No, I appreciate that insight because I'm obviously new to the vintage world. Recently getting into it personally, but yeah, no, it's not just about comps. I'm learning, especially because I was kind of going back and forth, like what should I do next? Because I do want it in a different holder than the old SGC 50,
Oh, definitely get it out
and
of the old SGC holder. But because,
yeah,
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the PSA look, but because it's red, it matches with that red border.
true. Yeah, there you go. And you know how I love color matches,
Exactly.
so yeah, because that's actually this is good because if you're not aware of how vintage collectors look for things, look for cards, then you just might just look at the comps. And if you're interested, the last PSA 3 sold for 8,000 exactly. That was in April, and the SGC 4, the new reholdered one, went for 8,300 more recently. So it's pretty even,
No,
right?
I think it's up though because if you were to sell that PSA 3 now, it's worth more than 8,400. If that last
Yeah.
comp was in, you said May or April?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's definitely higher. That 3 has got to be worth at least 9K. Like, well, what's a, yeah, I don't know
PSA
how
4,
I would
yeah.
tell you, but it's worth more than 8K.
Yeah, no, it's vintage. Yeah, so PSA 4 would have, you're looking at 11.5 right
Yeah,
now. And that was sold actually August 2nd, so 2 days ago. So there's
right.
your most
So
recent
that
comp
sale
for,
definitely helps the 3 price. I guess the only thing you have to factor in is what the upcharge is going to be when you send it to PSA.
yeah, yeah. So, yes, things to think about. I was leaning towards the PSA, but I felt dirty saying that. Like, oh, after everything we talked about earlier, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is why PSA is printing money. Even though we hate it, we're like, you know what? We'll probably go with PSA.
But would you feel dirty if it came back a PSA 4?
No, I'd be elated.
There's what I'm saying. You don't feel so dirty anymore. Okay, so there's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
answer. I think that's a clear-cut answer.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll, obviously, any updates, I'll let our podcast listeners know. I'll let you know. It's funny though. Like when I looked at the cert number and you typed it into the SGC system, it tells you like when it was graded, right? And
Oh, when
that
was
one,
that?
1999.
Wow.
Yeah,
They probably
and I
graded
don't know,
harder back
like
then.
they were grading harder back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. I don't know anything about that. Yeah, I'm like, were they harder or easier back in 1999? Which is, what's that? Over 2 decades ago now. So
SGC was the go-to for vintage back then.
that's true. Yeah, yeah. All right, we'll see. I might just do a PSA crossover, another piece of content for me. So I'll do a min gem of 3. I swear, if it gets below 3, that's another piece of content you'll see.
Mm.
But we'll see how things go. All right. DC, another marathon episode. I don't expect anything less now when you're on. Imagine if we had a third co-host like we usually do sometimes. It would be
3 hours
probably
long.
Yeah, double.
We'd have to make a multi-episode. Like
Have to break it up.
Yeah,
absolutely. And of course, we thank all our podcast listeners. Appreciate you guys. We'll have a brand new episode for you next week. Talk to you then. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening to Cards to the Moon. We'd really appreciate you subscribing to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can also connect with each of us on Instagram at 5cardguys, or you can follow Hyung at Integrity Sports Cards, or John at TradeU at Recess. You can also check us out at 5cardguys.com. Thanks again, and hope to connect soon.